Hello, welcome to American Baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and I am really excited to present a new series. A friend of mine asked me, how can you dress up a sheet cake? And I don't actually make that many sheet cakes. If you don't know what a sheet cake is, it's nothing but a usually rectangular cake that is only one level. It's not multiple layers. Since I usually make a layered cake, I make very few sheet cakes, and you can also leave a sheet cake in the pan, and it's perfectly fine. It's a kind of cake that a lot of amateur bakers will bring to different kinds of events like potlucks or birthdays or things of that nature. And it's always a good idea to know how to dress it up. So I have decided to start a series on how to dress up a sheet cake. I'm only going to be using buttercream. However, since I don't actually make sheet cakes all that often, I've decided to make them on a cake dummy, but it will at least show you how you can dress it up. So it's not about the baking part. I'm assuming that you already have the cake baked, all right, and that you can at least get it to the stage of frosted. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. The first one that I am going to show you today is I'm going to map out where the cut line should be, and then we're going to put a flower on each piece. So I'll show you how to do that. It's really quite simple, and let's get started.
I start out frosting my cake dummy. You can do this step yourself, or you can leave your cake in the pan and only decorate the top, or you can buy it at the stage of frosted from a bakery. Plain sheet cakes aren't too expensive. I should probably explain at this point that I'm not the best piper in the world. I would estimate my skills at low intermediate. That means what I am able to pipe without too much trouble is something that anyone can do. All you need are a few piping tips, a few piping bags, frosting, and food coloring. Once we have our cake frosted, I take a knife and mark the frosting into slices. I'm not cutting into the cake, just marking the frosting. I also mark the sides of the cake. Now I'm using a couple of piping tips, a small closed star tip and a small leaf tip. I got all of my piping tips in larger sets from China. They're quite easy to find online. I'm also using two similar Russian piping tips. I fill one piping bag with white buttercream fitted with a small star tip. Then I smear purple buttercream around the edges of a piping bag fitted with the Russian piping tip, leaving the center open. Then I place some white buttercream in the middle. Then I do the same thing with another Russian piping tip, but with pink buttercream and white in the middle. I also filled a piping bag with green buttercream fitted with a small leaf tip off camera. I begin by piping stars directly over the lines I marked, just by simply squeezing and releasing. The closed star tip makes the stars a bit wide, but I thought it made it look a bit lacy and slightly whimsical. I follow the lines down the sides of the cake and the line on the bottom with the stars as well. If you like what we do here, consider subscribing for a new cake every week, as well as a new way to dress up a sheet cake every month. Then, with the pink buttercream, I pipe a pink flower in every second box. As well as around the sides. Then I fill in the rest of the empty boxes with purple flowers. And finally, I pipe a couple of small leaves around the flowers. And it's that easy. This kind of design is perfect for almost any occasion. The colors are rather feminine, but it would be easy to change the colors to your favorites. That would make this design appropriate for birthdays, potlucks, parties, anniversaries, and more. For more cakes and tutorials, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't think that my daughter left this alone just because there's no cake. She'll take frosting as well. Russian piping tips aren't always easy to use. If you don't like the way one looks, you can always scrape it off with a knife and try again.